Ladies and gentlemen, I'm so excited to be with you today. I want to talk to you about something so powerful, something that can shift the direction of your life in just 3 days. It's a simple but profound truth. You have the ability to change the way you speak to yourself, and when you do, you'll begin to see miracles unfold. So today, I challenge you to take the next 3 days and talk to yourself like this, like the person you are meant to be, not the person you've been. Speak words of encouragement, strength, and victory into your own life. Because my friends, when you change your self-talk, you change your future. Let's dive in and see how we can unlock a new level of power in our lives. Are you ready? The power of your words is far greater than you might realize. It's not just about what you say to others, it's about what you say to yourself. The words you speak to yourself are like seeds that get planted in your mind. And just like any seed, they grow, develop, and bear fruit. If you're constantly telling yourself that you're not good enough or that you'll never succeed, those thoughts take root and begin to shape your reality. You begin to believe those words, and they influence your actions, decisions, and outcomes. Your mind is incredibly powerful, and it is always listening. You see, your words have the ability to create your future. What you speak over yourself today determines what you experience tomorrow. If you want to change your life, the first step is to change the words you speak to yourself. It's about shifting your internal dialogue from one of doubt, fear, and negativity to one of strength, encouragement, and possibility. The more you practice speaking positively to yourself, the more it will become a natural part of your thought process, and your external reality will begin to reflect it. If you want to attract success, peace, and fulfillment into your life, you must start by speaking those things over yourself. Your words can either propel you forward or hold you back. So when you start your day, ask yourself, what am I saying to myself? Are you speaking words that uplift and motivate you, or are you speaking words of limitation and defeat? The words you speak will either empower you to take action or cause you to shrink back in fear. The language you use is a direct reflection of what's going on inside of you. When you speak words of self-doubt, you reinforce the belief that you're not capable of achieving your dreams. But when you speak words of encouragement, you're essentially training your mind to believe in your potential. You're reminding yourself that you are strong, capable, and worthy of success. And when you start to believe in yourself, you begin to take bold steps toward your goals. The way you talk to yourself creates the foundation for the actions you take and the results you achieve. Think about it this way: if you were constantly telling a friend that they would never amount to anything, how would that impact their mindset? They would start to believe it, and it would affect their choices, their self-esteem, and their future. The same happens when you say negative things to yourself. You wouldn't speak to a loved one with harsh, limiting words, so why would you do it to yourself? Your mind and heart deserve the same kindness, encouragement, and compassion that you would give to someone you deeply care about. You must understand that the words you speak are not just fleeting thoughts, they are declarations. You are constantly declaring who you are, what you believe, and what you expect from life, and what you declare will come to pass. When you declare that you are strong, capable, and destined for greatness, your mind begins to align with that belief, and your actions follow suit. When you declare that you are worthy of success, you start to take the actions necessary to create success in your life. Conversely, when you speak negatively about yourself, whether it's saying that you're not good enough or that you'll never reach your goals, your mind begins to internalize those thoughts. Over time, they become beliefs, and those beliefs limit your potential. If you keep telling yourself that you'll never achieve your dreams, you'll never take the necessary steps to make them a reality. Your words have the power to either unlock your potential or keep you stuck in a cycle of self-doubt and fear. The good news is that you have the ability to change your internal dialogue. You have the power to reprogram your mind by choosing your words carefully. Start by catching yourself when negative thoughts arise. When you hear yourself thinking or saying something that holds you back, replace it with something positive and empowering. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I am capable of overcoming any challenge." Instead of thinking, "I'll never be successful," think, "I am on the path to success." and I am worthy of it. Every time you speak positively about yourself, you reinforce the belief that you are capable, strong, and deserving of the life you desire. Your words are not just thoughts, they are powerful tools that shape your life. They create your mindset, influence your decisions, and ultimately determine your success. By speaking life into your own existence, you can transform your reality. This isn't just about wishful thinking, it's about understanding the deep, inherent connection between the words you speak and the life you experience. Your words have the ability to manifest your dreams, break through limitations, and create the future you want. When you change the way you talk to yourself, you change the way you see the world and your place in it. You begin to recognize opportunities instead of obstacles, solutions instead of problems. The more you speak words of empowerment, the more empowered you become. It all starts with your words. If you want to change your life, change the way you speak to yourself. The way you speak to yourself holds immense power. It's not just about what you say to others, but what you tell yourself on a daily basis. The words you speak shape your mindset, and your mindset, in turn, influences your actions. If you speak words of love, encouragement, and support to yourself, you begin to build a foundation of self-confidence and inner peace. On the other hand, if you speak words of self-criticism, doubt, and negativity, you are planting seeds of fear, insecurity, and limitation in your mind. Over time, these seeds grow into beliefs that define how you see yourself and your potential. Speaking to yourself with love and encouragement means treating yourself with the same care, compassion, and respect that you would offer to a close friend or family member. How often do we find ourselves being kinder and more supportive toward others than we are to ourselves? We would never tell a friend that they aren't good enough or that they'll never achieve their dreams. We would never tell a loved one that they're not capable or worthy of success. But so many of us speak those very words to ourselves, whether we realize it or not. The truth is, the way we talk to ourselves has the power to either lift us up or tear us down. When you speak to yourself with love, you acknowledge your worth and your potential. You remind yourself that you are valuable, capable, and deserving of all the good things life has to offer. When you affirm your strengths and talents, you begin to see yourself through a lens of possibility instead of limitation. You start to believe that you can overcome challenges, achieve your goals, and create the life you desire. Speaking with love and encouragement fosters a mindset of optimism, confidence, and resilience. It enables you to face difficult situations with a sense of calm and trust in your abilities, knowing that no obstacle is too great for you to overcome. Encouragement, on the other hand, helps you recognize your progress and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small they may seem. It's about acknowledging the effort you put in rather than focusing on what you haven't accomplished yet. Too often, we overlook the small victories and milestones, waiting for the big wins before we give ourselves credit. But true growth comes in the everyday moments, and by speaking encouraging words to yourself, you acknowledge the progress you've made and continue to fuel your motivation to keep moving forward. When you talk to yourself with love and encouragement, you create an environment in your mind where growth and positivity can flourish. This environment enables you to approach challenges with a solution-oriented mindset rather than getting bogged down by problems or obstacles. You stop seeing difficulty as a roadblock and start viewing it as an opportunity to learn and grow. Encouraging words help you build mental strength, allowing you to stay focused and persistent in the face of adversity. They reinforce the belief that you have what it takes to navigate whatever comes your way, no matter how difficult it may seem. One of the most significant benefits of speaking to yourself with love and encouragement is the impact it has on your self-esteem. Self-esteem is the foundation of your overall well-being, and it is built upon the words you speak to yourself. If you constantly criticize yourself, your self-esteem will take a hit, and you'll begin to doubt your abilities and your worth. However, when you speak to yourself with kindness and respect, you build a sense of self-worth that cannot easily be shaken by external circumstances. You become more resilient, more confident, and more capable of handling the challenges life throws at you. Another powerful effect of speaking to yourself with love and encouragement is that it helps you break free from the cycle of negative self-talk. Many people have a tendency to replay past mistakes, failures, or shortcomings in their minds, often using these experiences as evidence of their inadequacy. But when you start speaking to yourself in an encouraging way, you break the pattern of self-criticism. Instead of focusing on your failures, you focus on your growth and potential. You recognize that setbacks are simply stepping stones towards success, and that mistakes are opportunities for learning, not indicators of personal inadequacy. The language you use when speaking to yourself also influences how you approach your goals. If you're constantly telling yourself that you're not capable of achieving something, you won't put in the effort or take the necessary actions to make it happen. But if you speak words of encouragement, you inspire yourself to take action. You start to believe that success is within reach, and you develop the motivation and determination to pursue your dreams. Encouragement boosts your belief in your own abilities, empowering you to take bold steps toward your goals with confidence and clarity. It's important to recognize that speaking to yourself with love and encouragement is not about ignoring your challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging your struggles while also reminding yourself that you are capable of overcoming them. It's about choosing to focus on your strengths rather than your weaknesses, and affirming your potential to rise above adversity. Speaking to yourself with love means treating yourself with the same kindness, patience, and understanding that you would offer to others in their moments of struggle. It means choosing to uplift yourself even when things aren't going perfectly. Ultimately, speaking to yourself with love and encouragement creates a ripple effect in your life. It strengthens your relationship with yourself, improves your mental and emotional well-being, and propels you toward greater success and fulfillment. When you speak words of love and encouragement, you give yourself the permission to grow, to evolve, and to step into the best version of yourself. You remind yourself that you are worthy of all the good things that come your way, and that you have the power to create the life you desire. Your thoughts are incredibly powerful, and they shape the reality you live in. What you think becomes what you believe, and what you believe drives the actions you take. This is why it's crucial to believe in the power of your thoughts, because your thoughts are the foundation of everything you do. They are not just fleeting ideas that come and go, they are the building blocks of your destiny. When you consciously direct your thoughts toward positivity, growth, and possibility, you begin to see opportunities and solutions where others only see problems. But when you let negativity and self-doubt dominate your thoughts, you block the very opportunities that could change your life. Belief in the power of your thoughts means understanding that your mind is a tool that, when used correctly, can transform your life. Every successful person, every person who has made an impact started with a thought. That thought became a belief, and that belief drove them to take actions that eventually led them to success. Your thoughts are not passive, they are active participants in creating your future. The things you tell yourself every day, the way you view your life, and how you approach challenges, these thoughts dictate the course of your actions and shape the outcomes you experience. Think of your thoughts like a compass. They guide you toward your destination, and if they are directed toward fear, doubt, and insecurity, you'll end up lost, stuck, and heading in the wrong direction. But when you shift your thoughts to those of possibility, determination, and belief, you begin to move toward the life you truly want. The thoughts you feed yourself are what you believe to be true. And if you can train your mind to believe that you are capable, worthy, and deserving of success, your actions will naturally align with that belief. It's easy to get caught up in negative thinking. Life can sometimes throw challenges at you that make it hard to stay positive. The world around you may not always reflect the dreams you have in your heart. And in those moments, it's easy to fall into the trap of believing that your circumstances define your future. But that's where the power of your thoughts comes into play. Your thoughts have the ability to transcend your circumstances. They have the ability to rise above the situations you face and lead you to a brighter, more promising future. When you believe in the power of your thoughts, you stop allowing external circumstances to control your mindset. You begin to understand that the real power lies within you, how you think about your challenges, how you react to setbacks, and how you choose to move forward. It's not the external world that dictates your success. It's your internal world, the thoughts you entertain and the beliefs you adopt. The more you feed your mind with empowering thoughts, the stronger your belief in your own ability becomes. You start to see every challenge as an opportunity to grow, every obstacle as a stepping stone toward success. The mind is incredibly powerful, and it's always working, whether you're conscious of it or not. Your subconscious mind is constantly absorbing thoughts, beliefs, and ideas, and those things influence your actions. That's why it's so important to be mindful of what you're thinking and how you're thinking. If you constantly think negative thoughts, your subconscious mind starts to accept those thoughts as truth, and they become a part of your belief system. But when you consciously choose positive thoughts, your subconscious mind begins to align with those thoughts, and you start to develop a mindset of confidence, resilience, and success. One of the most powerful things you can do is to change your inner dialogue. If you find yourself thinking, I can't do this, or I'm not good enough, stop and replace those thoughts with ones that empower you. Instead of saying, this is too hard, say, I am capable of overcoming this challenge. Instead of saying, I'll never achieve my goal, say, every day I'm getting closer to achieving my dreams. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. You start to retrain your brain to think in ways that serve your highest potential. Believing in the power of your thoughts is not just about thinking positively, it's about thinking with purpose. It's about deliberately choosing thoughts that support your goals and your dreams. It's about having the courage to trust in your own ability, even when the world around you seems uncertain. When you believe in the power of your thoughts, you are essentially trusting in your own potential. You are affirming that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way, and that you have everything you need inside of you to create the life you want. There will be times when doubt creeps in and you may start to question your abilities. But when you truly believe in the power of your thoughts, you can recognize doubt for what it is, just a thought. And just as easily as it came, you can replace it with a more empowering thought. This is the power you have as a human being to control your thoughts, to shape your reality by choosing what to believe, and to direct your mind towards success. The belief in the power of your thoughts gives you the freedom to dream big and take bold steps toward those dreams. When you believe your thoughts have the power to shape your future, you begin to take action with confidence, knowing that your mindset is working in your favor. You start to believe that you can do more, be more, and achieve more than you ever thought possible. You stop seeing limitations and start seeing possibilities. You stop believing in the reasons why you can't succeed and start believing in the reasons why you will. It's not the world that defines your future, it's the thoughts you allow to dominate your mind. When you believe in the power of your thoughts, you unlock the door to your greatest potential, and you begin to take control of your destiny. It's a choice, a powerful choice, and when you make it, your entire life begins to change. The way you speak to yourself shapes the way you experience the world. Your words, both spoken aloud and thought silently, hold great power. And they influence not only your perception, but your actions. Too often, people underestimate the significance of their internal dialogue. They may think that what they say to themselves in private doesn't matter, but in reality, it is one of the most important conversations they have. The truth is, your words create your reality. When you speak negatively about yourself, you reinforce feelings of inadequacy, fear, and doubt. But when you choose words that uplift and encourage, you begin to build a life of confidence, hope, and possibility. Your internal dialogue is the lens through which you view the world. It colors your perceptions and impacts the decisions you make. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you're not capable of achieving your goals, or that you're destined for failure, you begin to believe these thoughts as truth. The mind is incredibly powerful, and it accepts whatever you feed it, whether positive or negative. If you feed it a steady diet of negativity, it becomes conditioned to expect failure. It limits your potential and stops you from taking risks or pursuing your dreams. However, if you change the way you talk to yourself, you change your reality. Positive self-talk is not about ignoring challenges or pretending everything is perfect. It's about reframing your mindset and focusing on the possibilities rather than the limitations. When you encounter a challenge, instead of thinking, I can't do this, think, I will find a way to overcome this. Instead of focusing on past mistakes and failures, remind yourself, I am capable of learning and growing from every experience. Positive self-talk helps you shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. It enables you to see obstacles as opportunities, setbacks as lessons, and challenges as stepping stones towards success. It encourages resilience and persistence, even when things get tough. Your self-talk influences how you see yourself and your capabilities. When you speak positively to yourself, you reinforce the belief that you are strong, capable, and worthy of success. This belief builds your self-esteem and empowers you to take action. When you speak negatively, you undermine your confidence and limit your potential. Your words either lift you up or hold you back, and you are the one who decides which direction to go. If you want to change your life, you must begin by changing the way you speak to yourself. The mind is like a garden, and your thoughts are the seeds. If you plant seeds of positivity and self-belief, your mind will grow into a fertile ground for success and growth. But if you plant seeds of negativity and self-doubt, your mind will become overrun with weeds, and you'll struggle to find clarity and direction. The beauty of this analogy is that you have control over the seeds you plant. You can choose to nurture thoughts that help you grow, or you can choose to water thoughts that keep you stuck. The words you speak to yourself create a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you repeatedly tell yourself that you're not good enough, you begin to act in ways that reflect those beliefs. You may shy away from opportunities, doubt your ability to succeed, or sabotage your efforts without even realizing it. On the other hand, when you speak to yourself with encouragement and positivity, you take actions that align with the belief that you are capable of achieving your goals. You become more proactive, more confident, and more willing to take risks because you trust in your own abilities. It's important to remember that your words are not just about what you say in the moment, they are about the stories you tell yourself over time. The narrative you create in your mind becomes your truth. If you constantly tell yourself that you are a failure, that you're not worthy of success, or that you can't handle challenges, that's what you'll come to believe. But if you start telling yourself a different story, one where you are strong, capable, and deserving of success, that story will begin to shape your actions and your outcomes. Changing the way you talk to yourself isn't easy, but it is possible. It takes practice, consistency, and a willingness to challenge the negative beliefs that you may have held for years. The first step is becoming aware of your thoughts. Pay attention to words you use when you talk to yourself and notice when they are negative or self-critical. Once you recognize these patterns, you can consciously replace them with more positive and empowering thoughts. For example, when you catch yourself thinking, I'll never be able to do this, replace that thought with, I have the strength and the ability to figure this out. It may feel awkward at first, but with time, positive self-talk becomes a habit that transforms the way you view yourself and your potential. It's also helpful to affirm your worth daily. Make it a point to remind yourself of your strengths, your accomplishments, and your potential. Each morning, look in the mirror and say something positive about yourself. It could be something as simple as, I am worthy of success, or I am capable of achieving my goals over time. These affirmations become ingrained in your mindset and serve as a powerful reminder of your value and potential. The way you speak to yourself also affects your relationships with others. When you speak positively about yourself, you radiate confidence and self-assurance. This positive energy attracts others who believe in you and support your dreams. On the other hand, when you speak negatively about yourself, you may unintentionally push people away or attract those who reinforce your negative beliefs. The energy you put out into the world reflects back to you, and when you speak kindly to yourself, you create an environment where others are more likely to do the same. In every moment, you have the power to choose your words. You can choose to speak with kindness, encouragement, and love, or you can choose to speak with judgment, criticism, and negativity. The words you speak to yourself have the power to shape your life, and when you choose to speak positively, you begin to build the life you desire. The power of consistency cannot be underestimated. It's often easy to get excited about a new goal, a new project, or a new idea. You start off with enthusiasm, energy, and a plan in mind. But as time passes, the initial excitement can fade and the routine can become mundane. This is where consistency makes all the difference. It's not about doing everything perfectly from the start, but about showing up day after day with persistence and determination, regardless of the challenges you face. The small, consistent actions you take over time compound and create the success you desire. Consistency is the bridge between where you are now and where you want to be. It's what turns dreams into reality and goals into achievements. The key to success isn't always found in one grand action or in bursts of extreme effort. It's found in the steady, everyday actions that lead to progress. Think about how a river carves through a mountain over time, not with force, but through the consistent, ongoing flow of water. Your efforts, too, may not seem like much at first, but when you show up every single day, you begin to create something monumental. Many people give up too soon. They start a new diet, a new workout routine, or a new business venture, but when they don't see immediate results, they lose motivation and abandon their efforts. This is where consistency comes in. The results may not be immediate, but that doesn't mean they won't come. Success takes time. It requires patience. It requires the willingness to continue even when it feels like nothing is happening. It's easy to be motivated at the start, but the true test of character is showing up when the motivation wanes. When you remain consistent, even in the face of challenges, you build resilience and strength that will carry you through difficult times. The beauty of consistency is that it works in all areas of your life, whether it's your personal growth, your career, your health, or your relationships. Small, consistent actions will yield results over time. The key is in making those actions a part of your daily life. You don't need to take massive leaps every day. You just need to take one step, no matter how small, in the right direction. These small steps add up, and before you know it, you're much further along than you ever imagined. The more you repeat these actions, the more they become habits, and the more your results begin to reflect your efforts. Consistency also builds momentum. At first, it might feel like you're pushing a heavy boulder uphill, but as you continue to push, the boulder begins to roll on its own. Momentum is a powerful force. It makes it easier to keep going because the work becomes more natural, the discipline becomes automatic, and the results begin to take shape. The key is to keep going even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere. Your efforts are never wasted. Every small step you take, every minute you invest contributes to the bigger picture. In the beginning, it might seem like nothing is changing, but that's where the power of consistency truly lies. It's about trusting the process. It's about knowing that every day you commit to your goal is one step closer to achieving it. It's easy to be distracted by what others are doing or by the apparent success of those around you, but true success is built on the foundation of consistent effort. It's not about instant gratification, it's about delayed gratification, the understanding that every small, consistent action brings you closer to the result you desire. Consistency also brings clarity. When you are consistent, you begin to understand what works and what doesn't. You become more self-aware and develop a deeper understanding of the habits and actions that lead to success. By sticking with your process, you give yourself the opportunity to learn and grow from your experiences. When you're not consistent, it's difficult to see patterns and it's harder to figure out what needs to be changed or improved. But when you commit to consistency, you create a framework in which growth can happen. Many people underestimate the power of showing up. It's not always about making grand gestures or huge strides. Sometimes it's just about being there day after day. The consistency of showing up, putting in the work, and staying focused on your goals will carry you further than you think. Even if your progress feels slow, remember that the tortoise wins the race. It's not always the fastest or the most glamorous route that leads to success. It's the steady, relentless pursuit of your goals that gets you there. Remember, consistency isn't just about action, it's also about mindset. It's about showing up with the right attitude no matter what's happening around you. When you approach each day with determination, even on the days when motivation is low, you're not just working on your goals, you're building character, you're developing discipline, and you're training your mind to push through obstacles, doubts, and distractions. This mindset becomes an essential part of your success because it makes you more resilient and less likely to give up when things get tough. Building consistency takes time and it requires effort. But once you establish it as a habit, it becomes easier. It becomes part of your identity, something you do automatically without thinking. The key is to start small and gradually build up, focusing on one area of your life at a time. Whether it's setting aside time every day for personal growth, focusing on your fitness, or working toward a career goal, the consistency of small, deliberate actions will make all the difference. Consistency is the key to lasting change. It's not about quick fixes or shortcuts. It's about dedication, perseverance, and the willingness to keep going, even when it's hard. The success you achieve through consistent effort will not only be sustainable, but will also build a foundation for future growth. When you commit to consistency, you are committing to the long-term vision for your life. Success will not come overnight, but when you stay consistent, your progress will be undeniable. When you choose to talk to yourself with kindness and encouragement, you begin to reshape your reality. Too often, people overlook the profound effect their internal dialogue has on their lives. They may have an idea of how others see them, but rarely do they recognize the strength of how they see themselves. The way you speak to yourself shapes your thoughts, your beliefs, and ultimately your destiny. It is easy to forget that you are the most influential voice in your life. The words you speak to yourself are the foundation upon which your world is built. If those words are negative, harsh, or full of doubt, they create a life of limitation. But when you choose to speak to yourself with love, positivity, and encouragement, you build a life of empowerment and possibility. The mind is incredibly powerful, and it is directly impacted by the words you speak. Your internal conversation shapes your perception of the world, of yourself, and of your potential. If you consistently tell yourself that you are not good enough, not capable of success, or not deserving of love, you start to believe those thoughts as truth. This belief becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you believe that you are limited or incapable, your actions reflect that belief. You may hold back, avoid challenges, or give up before you even give yourself a chance. But if you change your internal dialogue to one of encouragement and possibility, you will begin to see the world through a different lens. You will act with confidence and conviction, and your potential will expand beyond your imagination. Speaking to yourself with kindness is not just about boosting your mood in the moment, it is about creating a lasting shift in how you view your life. When you choose to speak words that empower, you start to see yourself as someone who is capable, resilient, and worthy of success. Your internal dialogue becomes your source of strength, and it guides you through challenges, setbacks, and obstacles. Instead of viewing difficulties as roadblocks, you begin to see them as opportunities for growth. Every challenge becomes a chance to prove to yourself that you are capable of overcoming anything that comes your way. When you speak to yourself with love and encouragement, you begin to believe that you are not defined by your failures, but by your ability to keep moving forward in the face of adversity. This shift in mindset can also improve your relationships. When you start speaking to yourself with kindness, you begin to model that same kindness toward others. You learn to be more compassionate and patient with those around you because you are showing that same compassion to yourself. You begin to understand that everyone is on their own journey and you are no longer quick to judge or criticize. Instead, you approach others with empathy and understanding. This change in how you view yourself and others creates stronger connections and deeper, more meaningful relationships. The more you choose to speak to yourself in a loving way, the more those around you are drawn to your positive energy and your ability to uplift others. Your words also have the power to shape your future. When you speak to yourself with encouragement, you align yourself with the life you want to create, Instead of focusing on what's wrong or what's missing, you focus on what's possible. You begin to believe that the life you desire is within your reach, and you start taking steps toward it. It's not enough to simply say positive things, you must also believe them. When you speak to yourself with belief, you build confidence, and confidence leads to action. Your words create a vision for your future, and that vision drives your actions. By speaking to yourself with love, you begin to lay the foundation for the life you want to build. In many ways, the words you speak to yourself are like planting seeds in a garden. Each word is a seed that over time grows into something powerful. The more positive seeds you plant, the more positive experiences you will begin to attract. Just as a garden needs nurturing and care, so does your mindset. You must tend to it daily, making sure you are planting the right seeds and removing the weeds of doubt, fear, and negativity. With consistency and patience, the seeds you plant will grow into a life of abundance and fulfillment. But it all begins with the way you speak to yourself. Sometimes the hardest part of this process is learning to forgive yourself for past mistakes. Many people carry the weight of their past, and their self-talk is filled with regret, shame, and self-blame. This kind of negative self-talk creates a heavy burden that prevents growth. But when you choose to speak to yourself with compassion, you can let go of the past and begin to move forward. You are not defined by your mistakes or your failures. You are defined by your willingness to grow, to learn, and to rise above the challenges that life throws your way. Forgiveness begins with the words you speak to yourself. By letting go of the past and embracing a new narrative, you create the space for a brighter future. The more you speak to yourself with kindness and encouragement, the more you begin to believe in your own worth. You are worthy of love, success, and happiness, and the words you speak to yourself should reflect that. Every time you tell yourself that you are capable, that you are enough, and that you deserve the best, you reinforce those beliefs. The more you practice this positive self-talk, the more your reality will shift to match your inner dialogue. You will start attracting people, opportunities, and experiences that align with the love and positivity you are now cultivating within yourself. The practice of speaking to yourself with kindness is not just a one-time effort, it's a lifelong journey. Every day you have the opportunity to choose your words. You have the power to choose whether you will speak to yourself with love or with criticism. The choice is yours, and it is a choice that will determine the direction of your life. Every time you choose to speak words of encouragement and kindness, you are shaping your future and creating the life you want. When you choose to talk to yourself like this, you are giving yourself the gift of self-love, self-belief, and the ability to achieve anything you set your mind to.